All right, welcome to the introduction to the Fat Release Program, otherwise known as How to Lose Weight for the Last Time. This is whether you want it for fitness or slimming. Now, this program started off about a year ago or so for me, where I saw a diet program and was introduced to something new, something shiny that I could do to get to my weight release goal. And I didn't take them on. For the first time in years, I didn't actually change what I was doing, because what I had finally done is found something that worked for me. So what did I find out? Here's what was going on already in my mind and what I was seeing month by month on the scale. And now this is a year later from that point, and I've just continued on this very smooth and easy fat release program, and I am now just bringing it on to my clients, having just finished a beta program launch of the same program. And I'm telling you guys, it's going so well. My beta program clients are doing even better than me. They're seeing about a pound, more than a pound on average per month released. And we also measure inches and total centimeters, and those are going down even quicker than what I was getting. So this is working. And the point of it all as well is that we want to have a program under our belt that doesn't make us doubt it, that doesn't make us want to just jump ship and switch as soon as we see a new program. This is something that sticks, and you want to stick to it. So now I'd like to share with you another amazing little fact about the beta program results so far. And that is that not only were they seeing amazing numbers on the actual scale for their goal, but they were also seeing awesome ease rating. Now, what is ease rating? So ease was defined in the program as how easy was it for you to follow the program, as in, did you have a hard time with hunger, with cravings, with wanting to eat off plan, so to speak? And let me tell you, what was their rating, self-rated ease on average? It was 8 out of 10. 10 being like you don't even have to think about it. Just think about that for a second. How many programs have you ever tried? For me too included, like how many have there been where the ease of following a program was as high as 8 out of 10? I mean, at best, I think I probably experienced maybe 4 out of 10, like the best I've ever seen. And, that would be like from, years of playing around and trying different things and, being pretty committed and dedicated as a person, but still breaking down eventually, starting again from scratch, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing here's the reason why I made this program. It's for that ease factor. I was so done with doing it the hard way. I wanted to find a way that was actually easy, where the results are consistently guaranteed. So I figured out how to make it easy. Okay. And guys, it's working. So the beta program was amazing how they rated themselves, 8 out of 10. And that's definitely better than I ever felt in the beginning. But that was always my goal. I always wanted to stay as high as possible. And that's where I am now, personally. I don't have to think about this very much. I can just pursue my own stuff. I have a business of my own. I have things to do. I have a family. I moved across the country. I got stuff to do. And most of my beta clients did as well. and they still have these awesome results, guys. So let me show you a little bit more about what this program is all about, what are the philosophies, not only just the results, which is right here in front of you and are awesome. As you can see here from my data, which is not as good as my beta clients, mine was consistently averaging 350 grams. So a pound is a little bit more than that. And sometimes it would be just at 300 grams. Another times it would be around 400 to 500. It just depended on all the experiments I was trying to see, what could I get away with to make it even easier. So you can see here, like, there were times here where I really pushed it to try to make it as easy as possible. And then there were things that I figured out that would make it easy as possible and still get you results, like here and here. So I've played with this a lot. And overall, the question you should ask yourself is, what would you do if you knew that you'd be easily, smoothly, automatically losing consistently a kilo of weight every quarter? Now that's pretty powerful stuff. A lot of us, when we hear something like that, we feel a lot of relief. We feel a lot of, that would be so nice. I mean, and that's totally what I wanted to feel, and now I feel every day, even though I still haven't hit the goal so far, but I know I will. And that was so different from, a year ago, many years ago, when I would see diet ads or new diet info or listen to a new diet podcast and like, oh, I want to try that. And like being tempted always to try something new or make it better, so to speak. So let's go into the program philosophies to begin with, just to get you a little taste of how it works and what we do together. So the first thing that's really important in this program is that we don't say that calories don't count. We do think calories count. And the way I phrase it is that calories matter. So I wasted years in the rabbit hole of believing that the quality of calories was the only thing that mattered. I am sure you've heard of the very fashionable idea that calories don't count, calories don't matter, or calories are information. All of those things are true to some extent or another. However, getting to your goals consistently is more nuanced than just one phrase or another phrase. There are multiple variables here that we want to take charge of and combine for the optimal experience. So this is the first philosophy. We think calories matter. Now, I really want to highlight that I really did spend almost a decade believing that I didn't need to think about calories, and I only had to focus on quality. And I'm talking about the best of the best. I'm talking about the grass-fed, the organic stuff, the local stuff, non-sprayed, listening to your satiation rather than, counting calories and all that. But I didn't see significant results. I think at best it got me down maybe 3 to 5 kilos. But then I just stayed and just, your body hits a new norm and it just like staying there. And no matter what else I did, all the diet detail drama, I call it, that I pursued, no matter what I did, I'd always just return back to that equilibrium for me that was gained through food quality, just changing food quality. So I did gain something, but it didn't get me all the way there, especially not as far as I've gotten now. That's for sure. Now, one more thing about this philosophy that calories do matter is that this is one of the key reasons fasting works so well for so many people, because often fasting limits the total amount of meals that you have per day, right? So you can only eat really so much during one, maybe two meals a day, right? So this program, by the way, you do not need to fast, by the way, but this is just an example of why the whole conversation on calories is more nuanced, and they do matter and they don't in other ways. And at the end of the day, we pay attention to calories because it will get us to our goals. And I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I take into account lots of other things going on. I take into account hormones. I take into account your stress. I take into account some food quality minimums, right? But honestly, I have people on this thing using multiple different kind of cuisines. I have people at multiple age levels, all with all different hormone situations going on. And for all of them, respecting this principle that calories matter works for them, which is awesome. And if there's something deeper going on, then I have the tools as a practitioner to deal with that in the functional medicine field in general. So at the end of the day, you're good. This program will take care of you. And the thing is, as well, I was just mentioning fasting. I love side stories, by the way, so this might happen a lot. Anyway, so fasting works because it forces you to limit calories during certain times of the fasting program, right? And yeah, so that's an example of why calories matter and why fasting works for so many people. I will talk about fasting again in a bit because there is a very common mistake people make with fasting, and it's kind of also captured in the philosophy of this program and how we prevent the things that go wrong when you over fast, over exercise, over diet. So I won't go into that right now, so we'll just keep going with the philosophies of the program. So number 1, calories matter. Now, number 2 is that sometimes we want to eat lower calories. Okay, so what does that mean? So a little background. So years ago, I came across this awesome study. It took 2 groups of men. One group of men was the control, where basically they ate a calorie deficient number of calories every day. So a calorie deficient number is the amount of calories you need to eat so that you're guaranteed to lose like some weight. So one group was on that the entire length of the program, and I think it was a few months at least. And the other group, which was the test group, they were put on a diet where they ate the restriction for 2 weeks, and then for 2 weeks they would switch or cycle over to eating exactly or just around exactly the amount of calories their bodies need to maintain their weight. So that number is called maintenance calories. So we've got the 2 groups. I heard about this study, and guess what? This amazing thing happened. And it really shows why the first principle matters, the first philosophy, calories matter. Here's what happened. So I believe the first month, they just figured out like which calories was appropriate for every individual. And then like, boom, they start the study. Okay, so what happens here? So the dark line here is the people that are cycling. And these are all guys, by the way. And the dotted line are the ones that are on continuous deficiency calories every single day. Okay, what happened? So at the end of the day, the group that's cycling lost twice as much weight and faster. And this is only part of the study here, going up to 3 months, a little bit farther than that. At the end of the day, what stuck out to me was that, number one, they got results faster. During, number two, only dieting half of the time. That just really stuck out to me. Who doesn't want more results in half of the time? Like, duh. Okay. So, this is awesome, right? So you lose more weight and you lose it faster and you diet less. Like, who wouldn't want that? Okay. So this is the second philosophy of the fat release program that I have. It is that sometimes we want to diet. And so I call it occasional dieting. And of course, like what's happening behind the scenes is kind of what I mentioned in the first philosophy. Just because I say calories matter doesn't mean it's the only thing that matters when it comes to sustained weight release. What also matters are your hormones, for example. And when you are continuously dieting, your body is super smart, and it basically becomes as efficient as you need it to be. So if you need 2,000 calories to maintain your weight, and then you start dieting at 1,800 constantly, in about 3 to 6 months or so, depending on the person and whether they're a male or female, honestly, depending on that, their body will eventually adapt to only needing 1,800 calories a day to do everything it needs to do. Which is kind of sad, right? Because then you have to continuously keep lowering that calorie deficit number to continue seeing results. But of course, the sad thing that's going on is that although your body is getting more efficient with less food, it's also kind of not doing everything, so to speak, with less resources. It's just actually doing less with less. So like slowly you'll see other problems in your life come up, like nutritional deficiency, signs and symptoms like mood, fatigue, sleep problems, and lots of other stuff. So that's what happens. And we've heard lots of stories like this. That's what happens when you diet continuously just on a single low number for calories. Okay, so now then your frustration rises, right? And because you stop getting results and you quit. Or before you quit, you go listen to a podcast about dieting, or you look it up and you decide to try something completely different. And then you quit that program and start something else. So the diet detail drama only continues. Alas, so sad. But you don't have to do that anymore if you just occasionally go on a deficit cycle. And in my program, it is basically about every 2 weeks or so, we switch on and we switch off. Now, what we want to show you next is that although sometimes we eat less, sometimes we want to eat exactly at momentum level, so to speak. I call the maintenance level of calories, so the amount of calories for you to stay at your weight for about 1 to 2 weeks. That's like the average. So that number, I call it your momentum number, not your maintenance number, because maintenance gives you the idea that you are just staying exactly where you are, not improving, not getting worse. But so much more is going on in the background. And as a practitioner, I promise you, it's all hormonal. So what's happening is when we take the diet momentum period, is that we're slowly, like a spring, we're slowly building up the momentum again through your hormones of being able to suddenly spring back and continue releasing weight. And that's also why we call the program the Fat Release Program, because it's all about building the momentum and then releasing it, building the momentum and then letting it go, because that's really actually what's going on. So what's happening here in the third philosophy here is that no matter what else happens, you want, no matter what, you want to eat at your momentum level of calories. So that's the third philosophy. If you are in the weight loss, weight release part of the program, something happens and you have more calories than you thought, as long as you make sure you're not eating more than your momentum calories, you're in a good zone. Okay? So that's the third philosophy. No matter what happens, master the ability through multiple things that I teach you, like satiation secrets and habits and automation. You got to master the ability to never go above your momentum level of calories. Boom. And then, no matter what, you're not going backwards. At worst, you're building momentum. And that's never, ever a bad thing. Okay? Unless you're like end up continuously in a momentum. So at least like for a whole month. And then, well, the worst thing is that nothing's really going to happen, but you at least won't go backwards. So that's pretty cool. That's like the worst thing that could happen, which is exactly what I want. Now, the best thing that can happen with this is that now every month you're now building up awesome momentum and then springing forward. And this is the hormonal spring that you're building every month. And I could talk about it forever, but this is really where I see a lot of programs get it wrong, and that's saying a lot, because like I've been on a lot of those programs. Okay, so this I really wanted to get right, using my education as a practitioner and my understanding of the body. I never wanted to disrespect this thing of the body where I always knew that you couldn't continuously diet. It would just never work. So I went on all those programs, I'm sure you know about them, where like you have a planned cheat day once a week. So even though I did those programs, it still wouldn't work because I never made sure that I only ate momentum calories at all other times. That might not make sense to you right now, but it makes a lot of sense to me right now. But it's so important, because if you are, for example, right now on a program that has you dieting or fasting, for example, for 5 days out of the week, and then 2 days or 1 day of the week, you can eat whatever you want. I've been there and done it for years and not seen any results from that sort of stuff. It only makes your relationship with food even more sticky, I would call it, and icky, and you just don't want to go down that road. Instead, I made a program where I could enjoy all the food I wanted, just under a certain amount every day. I just needed to know how much energy was in that food. And then I can build it into my day and enjoy my life every day, every month, every year, while I'm still getting my freaking results. Finally. Anyway, so I do want to mention as well that this is why not only cheat day programs stop working, but also why fasting programs stop working too. Because if you continuously fast all the time and you never go off of that program, I often see people with 3 big things that happen to them. And this happens earlier for women and it happens a little bit later for men. But usually 3 things happen. First of all, they stop seeing results, like their weight loss, boom, done. The hormonal spring is all all out of momentum. Number 2, their sleep quality, boom, gone. Especially their deep sleep. It's like really bad. And number 3, really, really common, especially for fasting programs, is that continuously fasting programs, is that their hair starts falling out. And I'm telling you, these are not only signs of long-term nutritional deficiencies, but also just a sign of your body absolutely freaking out and going on alert and trying to help you find more food. Like, stop wasting time sleeping. We gotta go find more food. And they're losing hair because you're so stressed in this way, which is another thing not a lot of programs talk about. If you are basically you're way down on your calories for a long time, that is super stressful for your body. So multiple things go into the hair loss symptom, but I could talk about that a long, long time. But you guys, if you're on a fasting program, my best advice is to just eat breakfast at least 3 times a week. And what I mean by that is eat normally at least 3 times a week. It will save your hair, your sleep, and your results 100%. So yeah, don't make that mistakes. And I'm speaking from having really done it. My little story with this was I went on an alternate day. I fasted for about 20 hours to 24 hours every day, for 3 months at least, and no change after the first week or 2 of water weight mostly, and the initial weight loss that comes from that momentum. Nothing. It was freaking incredible. And this is why calories matter, but so does your hormones. So, okay. I think this is so important, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Now what I want to do here is I want to expand upon hormones through the 4th philosophy. And the 4th philosophy of my program is that whether you're a man or a woman, I leverage your hormones for maximum ease. Remember that number I showed you at the beginning about their results and how they rated themselves 8 out of 10 of ease? This is how the ease comes into the picture. This is like the secret sauce, guys, so listen in. What you need to know is that there's a difference between a female body and a male body when it comes to losing weight. And here's something nobody has ever told you before. Women have an unfair hormonal advantage when it comes to losing weight. I know, aren't you just shocked right now? I've spent years hearing that men have it easier than women in losing weight. But you guys, it's not true. And I figured out how. And this is how. So, guys have a hormonal rhythm that's pretty stable, but it fluctuates. It's pretty stable, like month to month, but every day fluctuates a lot every day. And that is mostly their testosterone. There's lots of other stuff going on, but the most important thing is their testosterone. Now, when it comes to their weight loss, they can start a program at any point, and they can get a pretty good hormonal momentum starting at any point in the month. Now, for women, however, they have around 2 weeks. They have 2 sections of their cycles, and I like to call the first section of their cycle here, if you can see my cursor, that is called the adventure and growth phase, which is between your period day 1 all the way to your ovulation. And they have a second part of their cycle, which is called the nurture and nest phase of their cycle. And hormonally, women have a superpower honestly, in both of them, but when it comes in both phases. But when it comes to weight loss, the superpower is to diet in the first phase, in the adventure and growth phase of their cycle. So that's between period day 1 and ovulation. And why do I want to do that? Because, guys, in the first part of your cycle, or ladies, sorry guys, it's time for us to have fun and ease when it comes to weight loss. Okay, now here's the fun part. In our first part of our first phase of our cycle, we feel naturally more energetic, more optimistic, outgoing, sexy, confident, all those good things. And that's because hormonally our body is making the kind and concentration of various hormones, including estrogen, that make us feel that way. And there's a reason. It's because we're supposed to go out and have sex so we can get pregnant. You guys, it all makes sense, guys. So, but anyway, when we don't want to get pregnant, we can use all that energy to do what? To diet, to work out. And by the way, you don't have to work out on this program. To go out and to go out on adventures, right? To do really great at your job or whatever. But the other thing that happens is that all that good energy in the first phase, the excess adventurous energy, makes a lot of women, and most women that I've worked with, not think about food as much. And not have lingering food thoughts, unless there's like some sort of deeper dysbiosis going on. And, that's what I'm here for. I can help you fix that. But if you don't have any underlying like candida or other dysbiosis going on, or overgrowth, this hormonal cycle is super, super powerful. And it's our superpower, guys, ladies. This is when you want to do your dieting phase, 100%. You'll just forget about it. Time will fly and you won't care about eating anyway. Okay, I still want you to eat, but that's when you want to be eating a little bit less or a lot less, depending on how fast you want to go, guys, ladies. Okay, so now, all this stuff is to say that all this thing is to say as well as I want to make sure you also understand what happens in the second phase. And the second phase for women is absolutely the most terrible time for you to diet, okay? And in fact, you don't even get as many good outcomes in the gym, as in growth in the gym, if you do go to the gym regularly. But here we're focusing on dieting. And what happens in terms of mood and energy in our second phase, which I call, the nurturing part, is that we're more inwardly drawn. We want to spend time only with like smaller social circles. And overall our energy is, steady or lower. If you have good health, your energy is still good. And I work with a lot of women who have super painful periods and super awful PMS, and with people who deal with PMDD, which is like PMS on steroids, and all those other conditions where there's a lot of pain down here, including endometriosis, PCOS. All those things are not normal. And all those things I help people resolve so they can get to their actual goals. Like, for example, losing weight is a big, big one, both between men and women. But that is not normal, and we can fix that, no problem. But if you don't have any of those problems and you do want to diet, definitely please, please, please do not diet in the second half of your cycle, okay? And I consider the second half of your cycle basically the day after ovulation, if not a few days after that. It's different for every woman, and I help ladies figure exactly out what's the right timing for them. But for me, for example, the day after ovulation, there's a dip in energy, like noticeable dip. And that's a sign to me that, okay, so there's a lot of hormones that have just suddenly gone down, and that's, there's a lot more hormones than just this estrogen line that's happening. There's like a few, and they all go really down right before and after ovulation, right? And then suddenly I have a different vibe around food. I think about it way more. And it's not the same as craving, because again, that's something we can fix, and that's a sign of nutritional deficiency. But food is just your hunger. Your hunger is higher, and that is a natural physical response. Okay, so hunger is normal, and increased hunger in the second half is super normal. So this is how I leverage your hormones to have that ease when you're overall in the dieting experience. For guys, your power is that you can go at any time. You can start whenever you like and stop more or less at any time in the month. For women, we do have to actually pay attention to when we start and when we stop and when we start again. It really matters. However, the superpower part of women is that we have sustained non-interest in food for longer than men if we time it right. And this is something that no one ever said in all the podcasts that I ever listened to. All the books, guys, all the books. And nobody ever said this. And I think it's mostly just because we haven't been around too long to, in the medical field, to, make all these connections and talk with other practitioners and notice patterns and all that. And hey, we're changing that. So let's do it right. Let's do this right. This is the fourth philosophy. Leverage your hormones for the maximum amount of ease. Okay. And this is why, especially women, it feels incredibly easy for them to not think about food when it's time to diet. This is it, guys. This is how simple it is. And I just want to make a little note as well that, and of course, when you are more naturally hungry, which is completely natural in the second half here, that's where I want to make sure you're getting as much as your maintenance level of calories. Okay. I'm also making sure you're nourished, because that's what I do. I'll always make sure you're nourished. Okay. But you won't be struggling against that hunger sign as much, which is so, so important. You'll be meeting your hunger, and that also produces ease in the second half when you're not supposed to diet. You're just supposed to stick to the program. That's your goal, and that makes it easy because you're eating enough. Boom, done. Okay. All right, again, so many things to say, but it really is the secret sauce in terms of how this all finally came together for this program. And I mean, there's lots of little things to put together for this, but it's definitely one of the most important things that I realized. So, on to philosophy number 5. Oh, hello. Okay. So, this is a screenshot of another video I made explaining one of the main tools that I use with people to get them to their goal. And that includes weight, that includes chronic conditions, it includes people who want to get pregnant and have a healthy, alive baby after multiple miscarriages, lots of different kind of people that I work with. And this is so important to all of them. for whatever health dream you have, this is what you got to do. The fifth philosophy is called automaticity. How do you make something automatic, a behavior? For example, we've got 2 behaviors right now that you already know about, right? Sometimes eat at a deficiency of calories, okay? And sometimes, and all other times actually, eat at your momentum level of calories. Okay, so we got 2 habits. Now, how do you make that automatic? That is so important for whenever people change anything in their life. I was always drawn to books, podcasts, articles, research, experts that talked about this part of the health field and psychological field out there. I always wanted to learn about this. And what I learned, habit change, how to change yourself, like for real, for concretely, what I learned was 2 things are the things that you need the most is you need to learn how to make things automatic. So that's when you take a habit and at first you use a lot of effort to make sure you do it. And then over time, it becomes so automatic that it becomes almost like a reflex. At the very least, what we want, true automaticity, is when you need no willpower, like close to none, like maybe 2%, but like almost none. You don't even have to think about it anymore. That's what automaticity is. You don't need willpower to do it anymore. Okay, how do you do that? This is how I do it. I use a mighty checklist. I also have another tool that I use. It's just from years of parsing out what's important. and it's very powerful stuff. So number 1, find a way to make it automatic for you. Okay. So, yes, that's automaticity, the 5th philosophy of the fat release program. And very similarly, the sixth philosophy is use identity change. Leverage it for long-lasting change. So not only do we want automaticity, but the other part that I learned is that if you can find a way to leverage the idea of who you want to become through taking certain actions, that will bring you way quicker down the road to your health dream. It's incredible. And in there, in all these tools, in the automaticity making tools, in the using your identity tools, they're actually all on this. They're all combined here on this nightly checklist that I have. I also like to call it the mighty checklist because it is mighty. But it is so important to know how to change your behavior in the long term. And these are the 2 juiciest things that I learned and I use on myself for every other part of my life as well, for whatever dream I want to come true. It works, guys. So that is it. Leverage identity and leverage automaticity. Okay. Now, my favorite, there's so many favorite parts, but the next part is near and dear to my heart, and I know you guys know what I mean when I say we waste a lot of time, don't we? We waste a lot of time trying to figure out this part of our life, the weight part of our life, whether it's for fitness or slimming or just wanting to be in the right size body for you and what you do. We waste a lot of time in something I call the diet detail drama. And one of the philosophies of the program is to quit it. Do all the things that you need to do to quit the drama. And what does it mean? It means to go off the podcasts, or at least the episodes that have this subject in them. Pause them. Pause the books on weight loss and how to get there faster. Pause the articles. Even talking to other people, you want to just be like, I have something that's working and I'm going to stick to it. And that's it. That's the most important first step. First, just quit it. Step number 2 is to replace it with what matters most to you. Okay? We want you to let the magic happen. Okay? So quit the details, because guys, this really does work. And it's the best feeling to know when something's working, and that to know that whatever your goal is, you know exactly that it's going to happen, that it's inevitable. No longer is your goal impossible, out of reach, or like improbable. Maybe it will happen. Give me a decade or 2, or maybe after my kid has grown up, or whatever you want to say, or whatever you like to say to yourself. Okay? No, this works. And one of the most important reasons it works is I teach you to turn off this part of your life, okay? There's a section of your brain that is so used to doing this. And you'll be shocked at how many parts of your life and how many hours a week and hours a month, hours a year we throw away just browsing this horrible diet detail drama cycle, okay? Now, I'll show you how to just stop it and what to replace it with, okay? Because here's the other thing I want you to remember. This is the 8th philosophy of this program, and it's also kind of my favorite one because it's also kind of the, the most important, but it's also important. Okay, let's just say they're all my favorite. This is what matters at the end of the day. I want your task to be this. I want you to be thinking about this question instead of how to get to your weight loss and whether you'll get to your weight loss and how long it will take. Instead of all those questions, you'll have a program that will tell you exactly how long it takes, that will work, and show you how exactly to get there. And instead, while you're getting there, instead of thinking about quicker ways to get there, it will teach you instead how to live your life now. I know that sounds so simple and maybe corny, but why is this goal so important to you? Why are you pursuing this goal at the end of the day? What will happen when you reach it? So this is what I ask people. What else would you be doing right now if you knew your health dreams were inevitable? Okay? What else? The what else is what I want you to be spending your time doing. Okay? I'll help you get things automatic. I'll be the one to help you make all the parts of the program fit together into your particular life, no matter how busy you think you are or how little time you think you have. That's the funnest part about this program. This program has a high level of ease. It's designed that way. This program is designed to make all the little habits you need to make all those habits willpower free. What else do you need? Okay? What else do you need? The what else you need, I promise you, is this question every day. After you've shown up for your food, what else would you be doing if you knew your health was inevitable? Your health dreams were inevitable. Your weight goal is inevitable. Now what? Often I see people finally starting to live their life. It could be super simple. They're going to the places they wanted to go to, finally. They are finally taking pictures of themselves somewhere. It's so simple and it sounds so silly sometimes, but it's really meaningful to a lot of us because we're waiting often so much for the permission to do so many things in our life. And I'm talking about simple stuff like hobbies, going out, hanging out with your friends, going on a trip with them overseas, dancing in public. Ooh, that's a big one. Even just going out to exercise is a big one for people. They're like, I would just love to be able to run around my neighborhood and not need to think about how I look right now or how bouncy all my fat is. That is a super common one. And you guys and the people out there that are already living that life don't know what they got. But I'm going to teach you how to do all those things anyway, even if you don't think you're ready for it. I promise you, you'll want to do those things a little bit more, because you'll see that the program works. You'll start to trust the process and you'll free up so much time. I swear, like at least 5 hours a week usually is what I'm seeing, of just diet, drama, detail cycling, okay? What else are you going to do with that time? It's so exciting for so many people, this question. And I hope if you don't do anything else with this introduction, I hope you sit down and you just take an hour with yourself and you write about what else. What are you waiting to do? What are you waiting to do? What do you need the permission to do? First, you need to lose a certain amount of weight to do what? Answer that question. It's absolutely phenomenally interesting what will come up. Okay, so this is the point, guys. This is the whole reason I created the program, because I realized I was also spending way too much time holding myself back from life and living and friends and trips and stuck in spirals of like mostly untrue feelings about how I looked. That's it. And a part of this last philosophy here is also to help you fall in love with the process as well. So one other question I like to ask people a lot is, what are you waiting to feel once you've reached your goal? So for example, once I've reached my goal, I can feel proud of myself. Or I can feel lovable. Oh, that's a big one. I can feel free. Just ask that question for yourself. This is the work that I do in this program as well, because mindset matters, guys. Mindset does matter. The questions you ask yourself matter. So find all those feelings you're waiting to feel once you've hit your dreams, including the weight dream. What are you waiting to feel? A lot of us, it's relief. Like one of my biggest things is just to be able to throw on anything in my closet and not feel all the icky emotions about how I could be looking, or just not liking the feeling of things being uncomfortably fitting weird or tight or whatever, or feeling heavy. So all those things, what are you waiting to feel? And now, once you have those feelings, like, okay, I want to feel relief, I want to feel free, I want to feel proud. Now, while you are on the program, while you're on the journey, I want you instead to practice something called process pride. Okay, it could be any emotion that you want. Let's say you wanted to feel relief. Okay, it's like, it's done. I figured this part of my life out. Now I want you to practice process relief. What does that mean? That means as you're doing the process of getting to your goal, that is showing up to your habits, for example, every single day, while you're doing that, I would like you to allow yourself to feel relief right then and there. Like, oh, wow, I did another day. All the things that I need to do to get me to my goal, it's done. I can feel relief. Or while you're doing them, this is great. This is so important. It might sound really simple, but I don't want you guys to be waiting to live anymore, because that is what so many of us are doing in the diet drama world. We're waiting to live because of some nonsense rules, and also because we haven't found the program that actually works. We need a program that is high in ease, okay? Leveraging your hormones. We need a program, we want a program that is absolutely will work for us 100%, because it's nuanced. It doesn't just say one thing is the truth and that's the end of it. No, this is a complex problem and it requires multiple variables. Okay, we want a nuanced approach. Done. We want high ease, even though it's nuanced. Done. And number 3, we want to learn how to freaking live right now while we're on the journey, because the 1 and the 2 finally allow us to trust the process enough to start living. And I can help you get there. No problem. Okay, so this is the introduction to the fat release program. And you guys, my beta program group was amazing, is still going on at the moment. And you guys, I had people of all ages. I had people of all ethnicities. I mean, not every ethnicity there is, but like super varied. Almost from each continent. I don't know. It was just amazing. And diet preferences, everybody ate a different diet. It's no problem. Everybody had a different health condition. Some people had chronic conditions. Some people had no extra health conditions. Some people had little things that they wanted to work on. You guys, it doesn't matter. Don't let that hold you back. All of us had lots of work, had lots of family that we love doing. Hey, and they still did it. No problem. I personally did a bunch of stuff myself while doing this, while I was making this program, moving across the country, having a private practice, and having a family, being married. I had plenty of stuff to do, guys, and I still did it no problem. And of course, I spent as much time as possible doing the things that I loved doing and was holding myself back from doing. That's what I was doing. Okay? So no matter how busy you think you are, or especially if you think you're too busy because you're building your business, and that's also what I was doing at that time, there is no excuse, guys. This is high ease program, no problem. And of course, at the last part is, it also doesn't matter what goal you're here for. If you want to fit into a certain size jeans, if you want to do this for fitness, because at the end of the day, what we care about is fat, not necessarily weight, but we can track whatever you like. It doesn't matter to me, because I know both ways, and I know the easiest way to get there. No problem. So lower your fat, increase your muscle. Lower your fat, lower your weight. Whatever you want to do, I've got you. I can help you get there. And there's no excuse left, guys. I went through all the things. There is really no excuse left, you guys. And I think the last little things that I would say is that this works. It works consistently. It works reliably and predictably. And I want you to let go of information overload. I want you to just come into this program and relax, knowing that it works, and knowing even though you think it will be hard, I've designed it so that it won't be hard for very long at all. Okay? And I want you to step out of decision-making fatigue, because I know you're in the cycle. I'm sure even watching this video was a little bit of you cycling, in the diet drama. But I'm different. This program's different. We'll get you there for sure. The cycle is over. And I want you to be part of a program that is the sole purpose of it is to also not only get to your goal, but to make you start living the life like your goal is inevitable. And that's just why I tell this to everybody. I used to be the kind of person who would go on diets and not tell anybody, because I just wanted to show up and oh, surprise, I did it. But of course I never did it. I never succeeded. So the bonus was that, nobody ever knew I was trying anything. So nobody knew I had failed. But the difference is they didn't know, but I knew. And that shit really gets to your confidence. You know what I mean? Self-trust, even self-loathing for some people. Man, I've had a taste of most of it. And that's over. All right. Now, thank you so much for your time and attention. I have two kind of people. There's two kinds of people that usually come to me when they want to work with me. The one kind of person is like, sign me up. I want to start right now. Don't need any more information. Or I know I'll get more info, but let's just go. Okay. The other kind of person is like, okay, this is great. I still really like collecting info, but I do want to get started, but I still want more info. Yes, no problem. Both of you, these are the two groups of people, and whichever you are, both of you start in the same place, okay? It's to go on my website, isabellathor.com/consultations. Go there, go and sign up for a free discovery call. We'll chat about, either you want to start now, no problem, and we'll just get you started, okay? Get you onboarded onto the program. Or we will let you go into the details, let you ask all the questions you want to know. You wanted more information. What else do you want to know? Let's go into it. No problem. No problem at all. Just start with a free discovery call at that link. And the picture on your left will be your results, and probably way better because that's just me. But my beta group program is doing so well, so much better than me, and I'm so proud of them. It's amazing. Now, what's the structure of the program? Excellent question. We start working together 6 months. And that's how I do all the programs that I do. No matter if you have a secondary condition you want to work on, or you just want the weight loss and you want this part of your life figured out for the final time, with tools for a lifetime afterwards on how to make sure it stays that way. Okay, so that's how the program works. Fat release program. We run it for 6 months. That's how it goes. Thank you so much for your time and attention, guys. Have a lovely day. Ciao.